Hi guys, this is BREE from Magic Moya. Today I'm going to show you how to make a money oil lamp, or you can call it a prosperity oil lamp. This is a great alternative to using candles. This goes back to old-fashioned hoodoo. Instead of, having to go out and buy candles constantly, you could just buy one oil lamp and refill it with the oil as needed. So it is a cost-effective option. Also, too, this is great for money maintenance and long-term prosperity work, because it's one thing to do a random money spell, and then it's one thing for you to pray for your prosperity every day, because now you're planting the seeds and you're building the energy for your money to grow, for money to come to you more frequently, more strongly, and consistently, so that way you have a better flow and grasp of money and the energy of money in your daily life. So using an oil lamp is a really good way to jumpstart your money magic and to help you be consistent and disciplined in your money magic. So there's so many different types of oil lamps. You can find ones that actually have the mason jar bottom, and it'll come with a universal top, so that way it'll fit onto the mason jar. In fact, let me take this apart so you can see. I'm just going to take the glass off. I'm going to show it up close. You have your screw top here, and then the canister. I'm going to take this off for you. This is the wick. Now, I'm not sure the actual dimensions of the opening here, but the way it's designed, it would be a little bit hard to put certain things in and out, so definitely make sure that you're positive about what you want to put in here, unless you have like long tweezers to kind of like pull things out. But if this is going to be long term, then you might be okay with just leaving certain things in here anyway, unless you want to buy the one that has a mason jar glass container with a bigger screw top. That might be a better suggestion for you. You can probably order it on Amazon, really. And then let me screw this back on. There we go. And then right here you have your wheel. This is what you do to turn your wick up and down. Now obviously you would not have this wick this high, because this is a fire hazard, because then once you put the glass back on, it's going to be too hot and it's going to crack the glass, and we don't need any accidents. So you want to keep it at least right here when you light it, and then bring it back down. But the great thing about turning the wheel is that you can control the burn. Alright, let me put this back on here for a second. With your oil lamp, you would want to have this burning all day long. If you're someone who works during the week, then you can do it in the morning. Snuff it out. Don't blow it out, but snuff it out before you go to work. And then make sure you burn it when you come home in the evening before bedtime. But this is really great to just keep it going all day. It's a nice steady burn. Alright. Now in terms of the oils, you can use a kerosene oil or a paraffin oil. Usually it's just called lamp oil, but those are different terms. Some people do use olive oil. If you're going to use olive oil, make sure it's not too much of a high grade, because you are going to be refilling this a lot, unless that's something you prefer. But today I'm actually going to be using some sunflower oil as my base. And plus too, it's really great because you think about sunflower oil, the color is golden and yellow. It makes you think of gold and prosperity. So I think this is perfect to use for this video. And I'm going to be using a couple of herbs and some curios today too. So let's see, let me start. I think I will show you guys the 5-finger grass. Okay, 5-finger grass is really good for bringing in money. It's good for holding on to your money. Okay, I'm going to use some allspice. Allspice is very lucky when it comes to money matters. I'm also going to use some patchouli. Patchouli is really, really good for bringing in money, and it's very earthy and grounded in that energy. I'm also going to use a star anise for success. I might have to break it for it to fit in here, but that's okay. And I'm going to use some thyme. Thyme is really good for protecting your money and helping to grow it. And I am going to use a piece of nutmeg and some High John the Conqueror pieces in here. Now some other ingredients that are optional are using some citrine chips. You don't have to use this, but if you want to, you can. Just because of, you know, the beautiful golden color. Citrine is also known as the business stone, so it helps to bring in money. It helps to increase your creativity. You could also use avitrine. Avitrine is very good for bringing in money and increasing your prosperity. And I also have some pyrite chips. They're really cute and sparkly. I'll show you guys them in a few minutes. Another curio you can use is cowrie shells, because you know, you think about the cowrie shells, you think about the yoni, you think about feminine energy. Back in Africa, cowrie shells were also used as a form of prosperity, so these are very lucky in hoodoo. And of course I am going to add some bay leaves and some cinnamon. I meant to say that earlier. I am going to use some bayberry and some rosebuds. These are fresh organic rosebuds. I might use a little bit of rose essential oil too, and some gold magnetic sand. I will also list everything that I have used at the bottom, so that way you guys don't have to go back and rewind to try and figure out what I used. And also too, I am going to add some money oil. I've had this for a couple years now. A little bit goes a long way. I have refilled it a few times, but then it goes back down. I absolutely love this money oil. It's very potent. Also too, you can use some peppermint leaves and some comfrey leaves. So comfrey leaves are really good for making sure that you can hold on to your money, so that way when it's coming in, you're able to hold on to it in a healthy manner, so that way you can grow your money and at the same time circulate your money, so that way it always comes back to you. Another ingredient, this is actually huge, but these are Ave Camino leaves. You probably heard of these for road openers. I actually have a video where my mom and we had gotten some fresh Ave Camino and we dried it in the oven, so this is what this batch is. You can also use skullcap. Skullcap is really good for bringing in gifts of money. And then we also have devil shoestring. Devil shoestring is really, really good to use because it keeps your money from being jinxed or hexed, so it protects your money, okay? Literally, devil shoestrings, it means your enemy trips over their own foot. They trip over their own shoestrings. That's where that whole adage comes from. Okay, so let's get started. Now, of course, you don't have to use all these ingredients. You can use what you have. And there's two ways you could do this. You can either put all of your herbs and everything in here and then pray over it, or you can pray over everything individually while you're adding it to your oil lamp. So it's just a matter of preference. I'll move this over here because I don't want to knock it down. This is a skull cap. Okay, so first thing I'm going to add in here is the cinnamon bark. So cinnamon, obviously, is very good for attracting money. You know, it heats up the work. It's sweet. It gets things moving. It's a very enticing aroma. And what I love about these sticks from the Badia brand is that they're really soft, the Mexican cinnamon. So it's easy to break off into pieces. See? And I can just put the little pieces in here. I don't have to put the whole stick in there, but I definitely want to put a good amount of cinnamon in here. Yep, so it's up to you whether you want to pray over yourself before putting them in or wait until the end to do that. For the sake of time, I am going to just place everything in here, and then off camera I would pray over my lamp. Actually, you know what? I want to add a little bit more cinnamon. Why not? And I love when you break it open and the scent is even more intense. I might as well just add the rest of the stick in here. Oh, that smells so good. Look at that. Okay. The next thing I'm going to add is a few pieces of the devil's shoestring. So really what I'm going to do is I'm going to break off one stick and then just break it off into several pieces. I like the number 4 for stability there, covering all 4 directions. North, south, east, and west. Next, I'm going to add bay leaves. Now, what you can do is if you have, well, actually, too, it depends on the opening of your oil lamp. If you have a mason jar, this will be easier to do, but it might crack, you see, going in. But what you can do is you can write money on here. You can write abundance, prosperity. You could draw dollar signs or the Hoodoo success sigil on here as well. Or you can put 777 on these bay leaves. So that's actually a really great thing to do to keep your mind focused on your prosperity. Like, see, this one I have to break because it's not going to go in all the way. Going to add in a few. Okay. Alright, so that's enough for the bay leaves. I'm going to add in some bayberry. Just a pinch, really. You only need a pinch of the herbs. You don't need a whole lot. Okay. Some patchouli. There we go. If you make a mess, it's okay. Just scoop it right on up. Next ingredient is some allspice. And allspice is really good too for gambling as well. If you're gonna like do the lottery or go to the casino. I think I'm going to put in here 7 berries just because I like the number 7. It's pretty lucky. Let's see. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6. Oh, perfect. Just take that one out. Put this in here. Prosperity, 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 prosperity. I'm going to add in here 5-finger grass. This is a must-have to put in your oil lamp to draw in money and prosperity. You don't want this too crazy, so that's why I say you only need a pinch. If you had the mason jar, obviously you could put a lot more in here. Star anise for success. going to break this into pieces just so it can fit. Oops. There we go. Okay, the other herb I'm going to add is thyme. There we go. The comfrey leaf. Now, if you have comfrey root, that will work just fine too. Not only is comfrey leaf good for, well, comfrey root is not only good for protecting your money, but it's also good to have on you when you're traveling. So especially like say you're an Uber driver, or if you know drive for Lyft or a taxi driver, and you want to make money and at the same time protect yourself spiritually and physically, that would be a good root to have on you, is comfrey root. I'm going to add in the nutmeg. I actually split it in half. I think, was it yesterday? Because I didn't want to put a whole one in there. I wanted it to be open so the essence could be released into the oil. And then I'm going to add my rosebuds. These are just, look at that, isn't that gorgeous? Now I know you're thinking, well, why are you using rosebuds for a money oil lamp? The reason we like to use rosebuds is because, you know, roses are of a pure and high vibration. They have a strong attraction element to them, so therefore our money is coming to us from safe, positive places, not from anything crazy or, you know, unfortunate. Yep, sweet places. I'm just going to add a couple of those in here. And you can actually add a little bit of sugar into here as well if you want, just a little bit, because you don't want the oil to become too muddy. And then I'm going to add in my pieces of Hyjon. And I am going to add in a little bit of Ave Camino just to help open up the roads, so that way more money and prosperity can come in. So this is really good to add. Or if you had some road opener powder, you could add that to here as well, just a little bit. Or some lemongrass. So I don't want that stem in there. And then also, let's see here, one special ingredient I'm going to add is our Magic Moya money powder. This stuff is amazing. So I'm just going to add in a pinch. Actually, I'll just scoop it out from the bag. Prosperity. Prosperity. Another herb that you can use is rue and catnip. But, you know, just use what you have. I do have those, but I just don't have them in front of me right now. And this money powder smells so good. Oh my gosh. It's looking good so far, guys. Alright, so now for the curios, I'm going to add in here 1 cowrie shell. I most definitely am going to add some citrine and pyrite. A few citrine crystals. Aren't those beautiful? Actually, you know what? Yeah, I can use that too. Thank you. Lola is assisting me. The other half of Magic Moya, my mama.
We're cooking stew right now, so.
Some aventurine. Put that in here too. Another thing you can use, this is optional. You can add in some dried orange peels. When I say this stuff is so fragrant, it just smells so sweet. Oh, it smells so good. Okay, now you are going to have to break this because it's a little bit hard and crunchy. Just a few pieces in here. And you know, orange helps to sweeten things too, makes things more cheerful. It's very positive and uplifting. So it's a great ingredient to have in here. Just had, here it is. I was going to say, where'd it go? I just had the pyrite. I'll take a couple out so you can see how sparkly it is. Isn't that gorgeous? I'm only going to put a couple in here, maybe 7. 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7. I also have gold magnetic sand, so I'm going to put some of this in here as well instead of a lodestone. A good amount. Also too, you can put actual money in here. If you don't have it on you at the moment, that's fine, because it's your intention that counts. So you can put any denomination of money in here. I know some people who use $1 and some people use $100, and it still works just fine even if you're using a $1 bill. What you can do is sign your name where it says treasurer. This is an old hoodoo trick. You would put the success sigil in every corner. Sometimes I like to put the Jupiter symbol in every corner as well. But make sure you definitely sign your name on this. And if you want, you can write a petition on this, roll it up, and put it in here. So I'm actually going to do this off camera because there's some things I want to do. And for the sake of time, I don't want to hold up the video. So I will actually add this in last. Let's see, will a quarter fit in here? Nope. I just wanted to see. Excuse me. Okay, so probably dimes and pennies would fit in this opening, and maybe nickels, but sure, if you want to. Another thing that you can add, you don't need this, but this is optional. Excuse me, guys. You can actually add in some 24 karat gold leaves. You know, this will definitely amp up the vibration of your work. If you don't have it, that's fine. It's not a necessity. See? Just gonna put a few pieces in there. Not a whole lot. It's actually wrapped up in the paper. I'll show you a whole sheet of it, and then that way you can just tear it off. Excuse me, I don't know why I'm coughing right now. It just kind of came out of nowhere. So I'm going to put the whole sheet in here, but I'm just going to break it up. Here we go. Alright, I think besides the oils I need to add, I think that's all of our dry ingredients. Okay, so I'm going to add a few drops of rose oil. Now this isn't the essential oil, this is rose absolute oil. Rose essential oil is actually a lot more expensive, so this is great and cost effective. It smells amazing. I think the base in here is it jojoba oil? I think it is. Or it might be grapeseed. Just gonna put a few drops in there. I'm going to add in here the pennies. Could you get me one more penny too, please?
Oh, how many?
6.
Is it okay?
Yeah. I did forget the peppermint leaves, guys. I don't know how I could forget that, but I did.
If you need anything else, let me know.
Okay. And then for the essential oils, you have several options. You can use tangerine. I don't have orange up here, but you could use orange oil or bergamot essential oil. If this will focus, it's so bright. You can use some lemongrass oil. This one actually needs another bottle.
Okay.
And then we could use some cedarwood. And
Cedarwood up there?
no, that's cypress.
Okay.
And then also peppermint. So I'm actually going to add a little bit of peppermint. Also, too, you will be able to smell it while it's burning. That might be too heavy. Okay, so I'm going to add in some of my money oil. Ooh, there we go. If you want to.
Oh, okay, I'll just bring it over because I'm not sure.
Okay, so I'm just going to pour a few drops. There we go.
There's a tag.
Anoint yourself with money oil.
Okay, there you go.
Thank you.
For a second.
Orange oil. lemongrass, and cedarwood. This directly corresponds to Jupiter, so cedarwood is really good. Alright. Then you're going to add in your carrier oil or your lamp oil. Also too, I want to add while I'm pouring this, you can place a petition on the inside, or if you want, you can just place it underneath your oil lamp. Because you know, you might want to change out your petition since this can be used for long-term working. So instead of putting it on the inside, you can just put it on the bottom, underneath. And then don't fill it up all the way because you have to leave room for the wick. Alright guys, can you see that? Isn't that gorgeous? Now, I don't have any cigars with me at the moment, but this would be the moment that I would blow some cigar smoke in here as an offering to the plant spirits and to the roots, and also to just give my working some more ashe. So, I'm just going to use a tiny bit of rum as an offering instead. Plus, it'll help to strengthen the essence of the oils and the plants. Just a little bit. You don't need a whole lot. Now, once you put the lid back on, you have to actually let this soak for a few minutes, so that way the wick can absorb the oil for at least, I would say, 5 to 10 minutes. Alright guys, so pretty much this would be your money oil lamp. Once it is soaked, you would take the wheel here, okay, and make sure this is off first. You would take your lighter, light the wick, bring it down a little bit to control the burn, and then you can place this back on top. But for obvious reasons, I'm not going to do that because that would take too long for the video. But I hope you guys enjoyed this. If you have any questions, you can leave them in the comments below. Make sure you like, share, and subscribe. And I will see you in the next video. Bye.